12 News, not your average office space will take you inside a Plymouth company that changed its environment to help its employees. Plus, an Osseo junior high student who's getting a big kick out of life, and now he's got his sights on a really big goal. But first, an intersection that's got a Robbinsdale neighborhood talking and demanding action. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Because of some recent accidents, a couple of Robbinsdale streets are under scrutiny.
Tuesday night, the City Council will explore the idea of no signs, yield signs, or stop signs at a certain intersection. Here's Eric Nelson.
This is ground zero of a stop sign debate.
I would prefer a four-way. I will take a two-way. We definitely need something.
The uncontrolled intersection of 43rd and Zenith Avenues in Robbinsdale, where there have been 2 accidents and other near misses since June.
If I would have been a little bit more vigilant, I would have gotten creamed myself.
2 times this entire fire hydrant has had to be replaced. One time a car completely turned over and it was going at a low speed.
Residents have signed a petition asking for stop signs. The city's response has been to put in 2 yield signs.
Something's wrong here. And so we immediately took action. We didn't need the neighborhood to do a petition for us to get those yield signs up.
However,
it does pose a little bit of a safety risk here and there, especially when you have a lot of little kids running around.
The yield signs are not enough for some in this peaceful and tranquil neighborhood.
It's also scary because we have a lot of kids in our neighborhood and they're witnessing these events.
They won't stop until they get stop signs.
We'll definitely take a look at it, but again, we don't want to be putting up stop signs in places where stop signs don't make sense to the drivers going through the area.
In the years that I've lived here, there's been numerous accidents and close calls at this intersection.
And it doesn't help that nearby road construction on County Road 9
people have to weave in and out of the neighborhoods.
Has detoured drivers to go through an unfamiliar and sometimes confusing intersection. Getting the go to putting a stop sign up is not as easy as it might seem. The city engineer has to recommend the signs going up, and then the City Council has to approve it. In Robbinsdale, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Republican presidential candidate Scott Walker will make a stop in Brooklyn Center on Tuesday. The Wisconsin governor will deliver a speech at Cast Screw Machine Products, which makes parts for companies such as Polaris, Toro, and Bobcat. Walker's speech will focus on Obamacare and his plan to repeal and replace it.
This past weekend marked the end of an era for Golden Valley VFW Post 7051. The owners sold the property to a developer, but as Delane Cleveland reports, hundreds came out to enjoy one last gathering before the building gets the wrecking ball.
Since 1969,
this building's been here for a long time, and members have too.
VFW Post 7051 has been a Golden Valley staple for people looking to be among friends.
I'm going to really miss this place.
It's your neighbors, veterans, a lot of people that have the same values.
For one final day, a collection of veterans and people from the neighborhood packed the building for free food and a few cold ones.
I'm really surprised at the amount of people that showed up for this event.
He's surprised because a turnout like this has been a rare sight in recent years. VFW membership was dwindling, and they hadn't been able to attract new veterans from the recent wars overseas.
I think probably one of the last things on their mind is to join a club or some kind of activity and stuff like that. They've got other things to focus on.
For those here, the focus was on sharing one last memory in a place where so many had been created over the course of 5 decades.
We've been dating for 15 years, and this is where we went when we first started dating 15 years ago. This was our home away from home, kind of.
Their proverbial home away from home will soon turn into an actual home, as developers will demolish the VFW to make room for a 184-unit apartment complex called Liberty Crossing.
Today isn't hard enough on us. That day will be even harder to watch that happen.
Yet not too many people were looking toward the future on Sunday. Instead, it was about drinking one last beer, sharing one last laugh, and clocking out for one last time.
What a great place to have fun and goof off with local people.
In Golden Valley.
Hopefully, they'll remember us for a long time.
Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
In addition to the VFW site, a nearby car wash, a Malaysian restaurant, and an industrial building will all be demolished to make way for the new apartment complex.
A New York City firefighter who responded on 9/11 was in Brooklyn Park today. He wanted to thank a local company for its part in building homes for wounded veterans. John Martorana is traveling across Minnesota this week to present commemorative plaques that contain steel from the Twin Towers. It's a way to draw attention to the efforts of Carpet One stores that are helping to build homes tailored to wounded veterans who fought in the wake of 9/11.
It's up to us, who they stepped up for, to try and help them out again. We're trying to give them back some of the normalcy to their life.
The fundraising is organized by the Stephen Siller Foundation, which is named after a firefighter killed on 9/11. When Ethan Robinson becomes a freshman at Osseo High School this fall, he can credit an ancient discipline for his focus and determination.
And the straight-A student is making a name for himself in the world of Taekwondo. Sonia Goins shows us how his hard work and determination are paying off.
World Taekwondo in Rogers is where you'll find young athletes training. The ancient Korean martial art form focuses on kicks.
I just love the fighting and the combat, the impact in the sport. That's what I love about it the most, but not just that, but the art of it too.
Ethan Robinson is a familiar face in the gym.
We're all one team and one family.
He's trained in the sport since he was 6 years old.
Because I'm a second-degree black belt. You have to go through 3 sections that take 6 months each.
While Taekwondo is aggressive, Ethan says he also likes the discipline and character-building aspect of the sport.
And I've been learning to give back to others, like helping with the little kids, helping with adult classes.
Ethan is very dedicated. He trains 6 days a week. He says he used to be quiet, but as you can see, he quickly got over that shyness.
Definitely have to be strong when you're out there by yourself, because if you're not strong, your opponent knows they have got you already.
His powerful kicks and graceful moves have earned him some major recognition.
I'm a 2-time U.S. National Cadet team member now.
He was first place at the U.S. Taekwondo Nationals this year.
I still remember when he was a color belt, a little pudgy and not always so confident, but after a couple years of hard work and dedication, he's really taken to it, and I think the world of him, and the sky's the limit.
His instructor, Matt Lee, is not surprised by Ethan's accomplishments.
This has been years of dedication, perseverance, and his willingness to learn.
Ethan is eyeing the 2020 Olympics, and he wants to promote the art of Taekwondo to the world.
I really do believe more work and more effort, and the more I have fun with this, I can make it to the Olympics.
In Rogers, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Ethan will leave on Tuesday morning to represent the United States in the World Championship Games in South Korea. So go, Ethan, go.
Yeah.
Still ahead, an office redesign that's helped energize a Plymouth company.
Then later in sports, an annual fundraiser for a local Little League program brings out the kid in a lot of parents.
But first, here comes the rain, showers, and much cooler temperatures on Tuesday.
Does the design and look of a workplace affect the end result?
A Plymouth engineering company believes the answer is yes. In this week's Business Matters, a look at why this company made a significant investment in its office design as a way to grow business.
We wanted to make it look like us.
Inside the walls of this Plymouth engineering firm, the corrugated metal and cafe-style space tell a story of this company.
But we made a very strategic decision that we wanted to make our office a better place to work.
The design of this office, take for example the large metal truss hanging above, or the display of grains and commodities, all represents the engineering, planning, and design work this company does for clients such as General Mills, Target, and Cargill in the agribusiness, industrial, and building markets.
We do really solid work, and that was the idea here, is that we would show that image.
The office also represents a story about its workforce. When VAA moved into this space 2 years ago, they worked with their employees and RSP architects to design workstations that encourage collaboration, places to gather, look at plans, and work together.
And it's a great space because people can come from anywhere and just be there.
Our best assets walk out the door every single day to go home to their families. And so if they're not happy, if they're not excited to be at work, we're not going to get the best out of them.
Retaining and attracting good employees is key, and spaces such as a game room with ping pong and foosball help do the trick.
It can be a pretty stressful job at times, so come in here and blow some steam off and go have some fun.
In less than 10 years, this company has more than doubled in size to more than 130 employees. As VAA grows along with the agribusiness industry, this company's office represents a significant investment in its employees and in its business.
For us, it's an investment in the future.
Coming up, a special moment for a special Twins fan from Robbinsdale.
But first, we'll visit the Park Center Pirates for today's football training camp report. John Jacobson is in next.
The Park Center football team started fast last fall, and they hope to build on that this season. Here's Jay Wilcox with today's prep football training camp report.
The first thing you notice at Park Center, more players. A 3-0 start and 5-win season in 2014 has the interest level up.
Starting from when I was a freshman, I remember when there was 30, 40 guys on varsity, and now, and just coming out to then we have 2 teams, but now, we're up to 60, 70, which is, it's great to see. It shows that, Park Center football is coming back in this community, and, it's becoming popular again, which it needs to be.
The Pirates have to replace 2 of the top players in the area lost to graduation. Adam Burge, who is now playing for Northern Illinois, and Terrence Howard, who is at Marquette for track and field. But there is plenty of talent coming back.
I'd say our defense is really strong. I think we have about 9 returning starters from last year coming back, and then our passing game and running game, it's all balanced out, so I think we'll be really good.
I feel like this team has the chance to be better than last year's teams. We got a great leadership base this year, and all the young guys are following us like they weren't last year, and everyone's for the same goal this year, so I think we can.
They told me, first step practice, Coach, we want to win. You don't have to cater to us, you just put us in a position where we can make the team successful.
Leading the returners, dynamic wide receiver defensive back Amani Hooker, who is committed to Iowa. Offensive and defensive lineman Josh Willay. Two-way lineman Malcolm Lawson. Receiver and D-back Tyshanon Brooks. Running back Rondé Berry. Quarterback Carl Altenberg and the Schnobrick brothers, Kyle and Ryan. The move to district scheduling means some familiar and some new foes for the Pirates.
We have some good teams that we're going up against, Spring Lake Park, Cooper, De La Salle. My freshman and sophomore year, we still played Champlin, we still played Osseo. And, that was my biggest thing. I was like, all right, by the time I get to senior year, we will beat them. And, it's kind of sad that, we don't get to keep up those rivalries. But then again, with the way they restructure things, it makes it more competitive.
We'll see if Park Center can continue the progress they showed last fall. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The Pirates went 5-5 last season. 6 starters return on each side of the ball. The season opener is Saturday afternoon at Bloomington Stadium against Kennedy. At Armstrong, they're hoping to build a lot of community sport for the football program. Saturday afternoon, they braved the heat for the first Armstrong Fan Day. There is plenty of food and refreshments and Armstrong gear for sale, plus games, face painting, and temporary tattoos. The highlight, 7-on-7 flag football. The Falcons football moms took the field. One of the high school players called it the greatest show on turf. We'll have our training camp report on the Falcons Tuesday starting at 4 here on 12 Sports. Well, when I was a kid, my friends and I loved to play wiffleball at a park, in someone's yard, wherever. It was that kind of atmosphere over the weekend in Golden Valley. The 4th annual Golden Valley Little League Wiffleball Tournament is a fundraiser for the organization. Money raised through team entry fees and sponsors goes for field maintenance and other special league projects. This is an event that has grown immensely since it started in 2012.
It's pretty amazing because the first year it was mostly kids and the parents were watching saying, well, we want to get into this. So next year I added the adult division and then we expanded to a women's division, and now we have high school boys, high school girls, which expands out of the Little League realm. We even have a co-ed division this year because we had so many teams where the husband and wife wanted to play together.
In all, 81 teams in 8 divisions played in the 2-day tournament that always begins on the 2nd Friday in August. More information can be found at goldenvalleylittleleague.org. Get your team ready for next year. Working your way out of trouble from the sand can save you valuable shots on the golf course. Rush Creek's Aaron Jacobson has more on this week's Channel 12 Golf Tip. Aaron, we talked about bunker play a couple of weeks ago, but it's certainly a part of the game that scares a lot of folks when you get into the sand. And this time we're not on a greenside bunker like we were, but a fairway bunker. How is this a different shot than what we executed a couple of weeks ago?
Well, it's going to be a longer shot, and it's going to be played with a less lofted club than what we did around the greens. You know, around the greens we're probably using a sand wedge or lob wedge, something to slide the club under the ball, pop it up in the air. And here we're going for distance. You know, we're out at about 150 yards or so on hole 17 here. And we're going to need, you know, an 8-iron, a 7-iron, something like that to hit it up on or around the green. Now we're in here, we're 150 yards from the green. I've got the club that I'm going to use, that I would use from the fairway at 150 yards, which is a 9-iron. I'm going to make 2 slight adjustments, and then I'm going to hit the shot like I normally would from the fairway. The adjustments I'm going to make are, 1, I'm going to start off and take my normal grip, and I'm going to choke down just slightly. That's going to help me make better contact with the ball, along with, if I drew a line here and put that line in the center where I normally play my iron shots, I'm going to slide the ball back just about a half an inch to an inch in my stance. By making these 2 adjustments with the grip and the ball position, it's going to help to ensure that I catch the ball before the sand, which is one of the keys of making good fairway bunker shots. So let's try one. Get set up, choke down just slightly, put the ball back in the stance just a bit. Hit it and have your normal follow through. If you can remember those keys in the fairway bunker, you'll hit the ball cleaner and get that ball up and on the green more consistently.
Thanks, Aaron. That's it for sports.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, a Twins fan who has seen her fair share of ups and downs.
We'll relive her big moment at a Twins game when we come back.
Here's something most people won't get a chance to do even once, but a 99-year-old Robbinsdale woman has now thrown out the first pitch at 2 Twins baseball games.
This is Eleanor Eggy on the infield to throw out the first ball for Saturday's game. 5 years ago, Eleanor threw out another first pitch when she donated a special baseball to the Twins archives. It was the foul ball her late husband had caught in the stands on the very first pitch at the old Met Stadium in 1961. So this weekend, the Twins invited her back for another first pitch to celebrate Eleanor's upcoming 100th birthday.
I was kind of an old-timer at it. Old-timer in 2 ways. I was more nervous the first time. It really was.
Eleanor says she's been a Twins fan through thick and thin for many, many years, but would like to see them get their winning ways back.
All of us, Eleanor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
she's an old pro at it looks like.
She was not as nervous the second time.
No, practice.
We'll see you again tomorrow, everyone.